Psychic mini workshop series. We're up to workshop number 8. My, don't the weeks fly by. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Aries. Now, isn't that a fascinating subject to be talking about this week? The new moon in Aries, with everything that's going on around this amazing globe of ours. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Amanda Hall. I've been in the psychic industry here in Australia for well over 40 years now. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame. I've also been voted Psychic of the Year for the last 4 years in a row, so thank you to everybody that voted for me. So I'd like to welcome everybody here today. Let's get a few things sorted out as far as the T's and C's about what happens in a workshop here with me on a Wednesday afternoon here on Facebook Live. I do not perform free readings for people. This is an educational segment where each week I'm going to work on an area of astrology or an area of life in the psychic industry that I hope that you will find informative and educational, and may just give you some answers to some of the questions that you've always wanted to know, or some things that you wanted to ask, didn't know where to go, how to do it, what to work with, how to work with soy candles, how to work with bringing intent, purpose and direction into your life. So we have, many different layers to our mini workshops here. So before we start, might I suggest to you, if you're looking to have a psychic reading or need further guidance having an astrology chart, or want to purchase a soy candle, you can head to my website, amandahallpsychic.com.au. When you get to the checkout, type into the coupon box in capital letters the word Facebook or one word, and you will get a discount there coming from our mini workshop series. So I'd like to welcome everybody here. I will not be viewing the comments as we're going through, so I will welcome everybody, say a big hello. After the show, I will endeavour to get back to each and every one of you personally with a couple of little words to acknowledge and thank you for being part of this mini workshop here today on Facebook Live. For those of you that have just joined us from my show out of the US of A, I work on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV every Wednesday at high noon or 12 o'clock Queensland time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. I do that show for half an hour where we do actually do a couple of free readings on the show. So if you're looking to get a free reading from me, might I suggest you join me next Wednesday on A1R Psychic Radio here on Facebook. They run shows out of the US 3 nights of the week over there, which is daytime here in Australia. And I've been with these guys for over 12 months. Absolutely love it. Fantastic crew to work with. So then we go from that into my mini workshop series. So this week we're focusing on the new moon in Aries. And can I just take a second to say welcome and thank you for joining us here on my Facebook Lives. We're up to workshop number 8. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. And it's amazing to have you here with us. So let's get down to business. The new moon. What does a new moon mean? The new moon actually is a time of the month where we can set our intentions for the month ahead, where we look at things in a very positive, dynamic way moving forward. It's a time when we set our intentions to bring in new things. So what I suggest to people is start a little list. What are a couple of things that you may be able to instigate, start, complete, or bring to fruition in the next month? So you put those at the top of your list. Then you might have a list, then you might have another couple of items that you say might be 12 months or 6 months away. We put them next on the list. Then we put a couple of things that we're working towards that are much longer range goals or opportunities that we're trying to bring into our life. And I hear you say, but what can I put down there? For some people, it might be attracting a soul partner. It might be attracting the love of their life. For someone else, it might be getting a new job. For someone else, it might be losing weight. It might be, I want to regain my health. It might be, I want to start exercising more. There's all different new things that we can be attracting in our life. It doesn't always have to be about money. And it doesn't always have to be about the material side of life. It's interesting as the planet moves so quickly, and it has been for such a while now, that we're all starting to look at different things as being important in our lives. And it's not always about finances, which I'm so pleased to say. It's not always about finances. So this week, the new moon will be on the 16th. So that's Monday, the 16th of April is when the new moon will be the beginning part of its 2.5 day cycle. So 2.5 days is roughly 56 hours, 60 hours of the new moon's energy. I like to work with 2 days on the approach and 2 days on the departure. So I look at a moon cycle when we're working with a new moon or a full moon of being a 7-day event, not just a 2.5-day event. Now, the reasons why I do that is I like to get myself into a little rhythm of getting used to working with the energy of the new moon that's coming in. So that then by the time we get to when the new moon is really starting to bring its intensity, we're right in the thick of things. We're right into the energy. We've got our list is right. You know, we might have written our list and then we're scratching a few things out and adding a few things or adding or subtracting. So by the time we get to when the new moon is here, we've got it pretty much set what we're trying to achieve. I also work with, at the same time, I work with a candle that's designed for the new moon that we'll talk about in a minute, but I also work with the candle that relates to the energy. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why I like to work with both, because I feel it just intensifies what the new moon's energy is about. So for those of you that don't have a lot of knowledge in astrology, it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. I've worked with astrology for well over 30 years now. It is something that I still find each and every day there's still some facet of astrology that I learn, or something that I would have probably known and forgotten about, and someone reminds me about it on social media and I think, oh yeah, it's a long time since I've worked with that or I've looked with that. So we can all still be learning each and every day. So the new moon for us astrologers is like the brand new cycle. It's like day one of the new year to us. So when we go into the Aries energy of the year, it's the start of the astrological year. So the first new moon in Aries is like our first new moon for the new year for us. So our new year's just started. So it's really a time to ramp up those things that we want to bring into our lives. So the new moon in Aries is about motivation, is about me first, about what do I need to change in my life? What is important to me? What are the things that I've got the enthusiasm, the drive and the power now to get up off the couch and make it happen. For some of you, you may have found in the last couple of days, even the last week, that your energy's been very restless and very scattered. You can't make up your mind about things. Communication's been all over the place because we still have Mercury retrograde, which we've been talking about on the last couple of workshops, where Mercury actually goes direct on the 15th. But I always allow a couple of days past that for Mercury to sort of, gone from this backwards position to the stationary position to forward again, allow 48 hours after the 15th, so that takes us to about the 17th again, which is right in the middle of our new moon. So it's like all of a sudden everything will become very clear. All of the things that may have been hidden from us, or where people weren't listening to us, or you thought that people weren't paying attention, or they had their own agenda and they were sort of giving you lip service, things will start to turn around, which is wonderful. So how do we work with a candle, I hear you say? Well, let's start with the new moon candle for a start. So the new moon candle, to me, I would write my intentions, as I said, on a piece of paper of, things that I can achieve quickly, things that are mid-range and things that are much longer range. I would write 2 identical lists. And the reasons being because I'm going to put one list under my new moon candle and I'm going to put one list under my fire sign candle. So how I work with this is I would read it out aloud before or as I'm lighting the candle of what's on my list. Doesn't have to be verbatim. You can have your list there and ready to put your list under the candle and just doing it from memory. If you've got a memory like a sieve, then read it out before you put it under your candle, making sure that you always put your candle on another surface, whether it's a coaster, a plate, a doily, something that is like a circuit breaker between where the candle is going to sit on the piece of furniture and the candle itself, because these glass containers do get hot. The soy mixture itself doesn't get hot, but the glass container, or what the candle is stored in or poured into, does get hot. So please don't put them directly on your furniture, because you may just find that the glass base of the candle will get very hot and could scorch your beautiful dining room table, and we wouldn't want that to happen. Never place your candle underneath a fan, near an open window, or under the air conditioner. Always make sure that there's good clearance around it, and please never leave a candle unattended. It goes without saying they should be kept out of the reach of children and dogs and the fear of being knocked over. So I always endeavour to, ideal optimum time would be 2 hours per day. Let's be practical. Most of us don't have 2 hours to sit there and watch a candle burn. As much as we'd like to, we have other things that we get on with our lives for. So I suggest minimum of 15 minutes per day. If you do that, most of us can manage to do that if we're, sitting there watching the telly, or we're peeling the spuds for dinner, or, we're talking on the phone to a friend, or just we can use this time as our meditation and our quiet time, which is ideally what we would be doing, and just focus into the flame of the candle and keep reaffirming what we've been sending out as our intent, purpose and direction of working with the new moon. Then I would also light my fire sign candle. Now this is appropriate candle for anybody that's a fire sign, an Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. They both have beautiful scents about them. You'll notice that each candle has a distinct colour, and this one obviously is red for the fire signs, and the new moon one is a pale blue, because I believe that that denotes the freshness of the new moon. And you'll notice the label on that is a dark background with the new moon focusing through. So the reasons why we want to set our intent is really important. We want to start to draw new things towards us. Now, for some people that they say, oh, look, I don't really want anything new in my life, but there may have been a project that you've been working on for some time now and you feel like you've hit a brick wall, or you're not getting the breakthroughs or the opportunities that you need. This is the perfect time to mow down those barriers now by setting your intent with the new moon. Now, I'd also like to reaffirm with you, if you are looking to have a reading, I'm not doing readings here in the mini workshop, please head to my website, www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. When you get to the checkout, don't forget to type in capital letters Facebook in one word, and you'll get a discount on all our services and courses at the website. It's interesting when we start to work with the energy of the moon, and it's something that as we start to open ourselves up more, we find that we become much more sensitive and much more emotional than what I think we gave ourselves credit for before we started to realize and be conscious of the energy of working with the moon. I know for many years that I used to think, some days I'd get out of bed and I'd be really positive, and the next day I'd feel like I was run over by a bus, and I used to think, what's changed other than I've had a little bit of sleep in between? And then I started to realize it was because of the moon. Because the moon moves so fast and only stays in an astrological sign for 2.5 days, that you can be on a high for 2.5 days, and then all of a sudden sort of, come the stroke of 1 o'clock and you feel like the energy's drained out of you. And that's because it's gone out of, say, a fire sign into an earth sign, where it's a definite shift in the energy and you really do feel it. So why do we all have to be aware of this? Well, we all are driven by emotions, whether we want to agree with that or not. Emotions makes us tick as human beings. Some of us wear our emotions on our sleeves, some of us hide them deep down in our tummies, and some of us try to avoid that we've got them all together. But we are all still emotional human beings. So it is important to understand and work with the energy of the moon, because once we learn to harness that and work with the energy of the moon, we start to find that our life comes more into balance. I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week's mini workshop is going to be on purely just the sign of Aries, because it is the Aries time of the year. It's the time of the year where we're really sort of looking at what's happening in the world, particularly with Aries people, and looking at how we can understand our Aries friends, family, lovers better by just understanding a little bit more about what makes them tick. And are they self-centered? Well, you'll have to watch next week to find out. So just to thank you again for being here. I hope you're enjoying my mini workshop series. We will be working on many different things. Yes, twice a month we'll be working on, the moon energy, whether it's the new moon or the full moon, and then the off weeks in between that we'll have a different workshop on different areas. But as we go around the zodiac, you'll find each moon cycle we're talking about is different to the previous month. So it's an exciting way for everybody to share and join in a little bit of my knowledge as an astrologer. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. If you want to private message me, as long as it relates to the topic at hand. It's not about having a free reading. Please be assured I will not answer anybody if you ask me for a free reading. That's not what this segment is about. I'm busy like everybody else. If you're a hairdresser, I can't come down and get a free haircut. I have to bring my credit card with me to pay you. So it's the same thing for readings. It does take my energy, and it does take a lot of energy. And without sort of sounding very patriotic or, feel sorry for me, people must understand this work is very draining. working in the psychic industry, an hour of this work is equivalent to 4 hours of a normal day job. So you can appreciate how much it's draining and how we have to reserve what energy that we have and make sure that we have a life as well outside of being a psychic. So I really do love bringing these workshops to you each week. I'm happy to talk about any topics that you might have. So if you've got an idea for a topic you'd like me to cover on the show as a workshop, please feel free to share it with me. And I'd like to encourage you to share this with at least one other person that you think might benefit from learning a little bit more about the new moon that's coming up next Monday, the 16th, wherever you are in the globe. That's when the new moon will be at its fullest, and it's in Aries. So it's about motivation, me first, starting new projects, tossing everything out that no longer suits us. Well, hopefully you did that a couple of weeks ago with the blue full moon. So now you're ready to bring positive new things towards you, which is great. And also about being kind to each other. So don't forget, head over to my website, amandahallpsychic.com.au. Don't forget to type in Facebook in capital letters in the coupon box at the checkout when you've made your purchase. Oh, before I go, I forgot to mention, we do also have the candles in a little travel pack. See, Mercury retrograde, I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be talking about. These are the perfect size candles if you've got a limited space, where the bigger candles, the extra larges, will burn up to 100 hours. These little candles burn up to about 15 hours. They're in a little glass container, a little glass lid. This pack I've done up today is 2 new moon candles and an Aries and the fire sign candle. But you can make up this gift pack with any of the candles that out of the 29 in our range. 27 in our range, I beg your pardon. You can choose the 3 candles that you want. You can have all new moon, you can have all fire sign, or you can have 3 different candles. The choice is yours. They do come in this lovely gift box, ready for you to give as a gift or something that for you to use yourself. So that you can find those on our website as well. So I hope you can join me next week for our next mini workshop on the sign of Aries. And don't forget, high noon, midday, 12 o'clock Queensland time Wednesday, head on to the A1R Psychic Radio Facebook page. You'll see the link in the promo for this, where I do a show out of the US of A at 12 o'clock. And we do a couple of free readings there. By all means, join the list there to get the opportunity to get a free reading with me. And also on that show, we talk about, we have a trip around the universe, we have the card of the week, we have the candle of the week, and we always have a little mini astrology lesson segment as well, which is separate and different from my workshops. So I want to thank you again for joining me. Have a great week and bye for now.